And welcome to episode 7 of Kayfabe's Not Dead. I'm your host CJ, and like always, we got good old Dapper and Jess. Whoa, you're looking kind of fancy today. Are you celebrating something? Is it your birthday and I forgot?
He's a
What can I say,
sellout, that's
man?
what he is.
Hey, you can't buy class. It's taught. That's
Yeah.
something you ain't ever gonna learn.
I mean, I don't want to get into spoilers too quickly, but I gotta say, you're putting Jinder. You're looking better than Jinder. I gotta say.
I know.
And that's hard to do. That's hard to pull off. But anyway, today
Hard Body and I have been working out together, and I got some good gains going. What do you want me to say?
if you haven't figured out,
Cheap shots.
we're talking about Backlash and the results. We'll hopefully everybody checked out our predictions, and we're gonna find out how we did at the end of the show. But with all that said, let's get
Can
into
I
it.
just say this? Can I just say one? It's bullshit that your Singh brothers had a longer match than Jinder. And that's how we got to that suit. And me wearing these glasses.
Well, I will say, going into
Feeling a
the
little salty.
going into the pay-per-view, I was apprehensive, but I was cautiously optimistic. So, with that said, we had the pre-match, the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English, and this didn't last long, but I actually thought it was pretty good. Aiden can actually wrestle when he's given a chance. Who the fuck would have thought that?
Didn't last long, man. This match lasted longer than Dapper's sex life. Let me tell you something.
Oh my god.
This was a solid match, and I see good things in Aiden's future.
All right, would you go so far as to give it a perfect 10?
No comment.
Of course, the finish was never in doubt. Aiden, even though he's actually pretty decent in the ring, he's a fucking jobber. Nobody's going to question that. Ty goes over after he hits the tiebreaker. Dapper, what did you think of the match?
I thought it was a good match. I mean, even in NXT, I always thought Ty Dillinger was an all-around good wrestler. It took him forever to find a good gimmick, but I was honestly surprised that the Perfect 10 gimmick stuck, and now it's getting over just because it's something simple and easy, just like the yes chant. And now he can show his he can show his good talent as a wrestler.
All right,
So I'm happy he went over.
I know I've asked this question before, but where the fuck
And-
does the Perfect 10 come from?
It was just one of his gimmicks. He used pretty much in NXT. What he did is he came out during other people's matches.
Why
when
don't
it
you
ended.
shut that cock holster, Dapper? Let me explain how a perfect 10 comes to be.
God.
Some of us are just
My
born.
God.
When we unzip, we look down and we see it can only be described as a perfect 10.
Well, with that said, I gotta say, Ty must be compensating for something, because my god, that collar he's wearing, I'm not a fan. Now, I'm not that qualified. I'm not a member of the fashion police. I mean, maybe they're recruiting, but that was definitely a little much.
Can I just say one thing before I was rudely interrupted by a
Abs-
sellout
Absolutely.
who has more red on his knees than someone on the street corner? But Ty Dillinger used to come out after other people's matches with cue cards saying like 6, 8, 5, and then they'll be like, "What are you supposed to be?" And then he'd pull out a glitter sign that said 10.
Okay. All right.
And like
now
he would
I
come out to
understand.
his matches after he wins, he would do the 10, hold up a sign that said 10,
Okay.
and all that.
Okay. All right. Well, now
You know
now I
all-
know.
You know all about glitter.
All right. And with that, we're going to move on to, I thought was pretty surprising. I thought, if anything, this match was going to potentially end the night. To start off, we got Shinsuke, the King of Strong Style, versus Dolph the Ziggler, the Zigmeister himself. And, I mean, if you guys have been listening, you know that I've been dying to see Shinsuke fight. I've been very adamant.
I think anybody who's listened to 30 seconds of us knows you're a fucking weeb. Of course you went for Shinsuke in this match.
Well,
Says the guy wearing a strong style t-shirt.
yeah,
Strong style's a way of life. Shinsuke's a fad.
Anyway, I was kind of apprehensive about how they were building this up, and of course he gets the huge pop when he goes and does his entrance. Everybody's singing along. The match was pretty even to start, but after Shinsuke finally landed a few shots, he pretty much took control of the whole match. Ziggler was able to land a few nice moves, including a neck breaker in between the ropes. That was pretty cool. And the drop kick he hit was definitely shades of strong style. But once Nakamura started landing some strikes, it was pretty much over. Even after Dolph landed a good DDT, I don't think this was ever
He has
in question.
probably the best DDT in the business next to Jake the Snake.
It was definitely a pretty damn good DDT.
I just wish it gave more than just a 2 count.
Yeah.
You shut your fat fucking face before I fill it with my dick.
Jesus.
Good as Jake the Snake? Are you kidding me?
Jess, I gotta ask, what is this new side of you? I mean, we've always considered you the heel on the show, but there's something different.
Oh, he's just a dirtbag.
I don't know what you mean. This is just who I am through and through.
Oh, okay.
Jinder represents his people, I represent mine.
So Shinsuke is able to... Dolph hits him with the zigzag and a brutal super kick to the back of the head, and Shinsuke is able to kick out. After Shinsuke lands the back exploder into the Kinshasa! He gets the pin.
Nice.
The
only thing I wish, though, is I was excited to watch Shinsuke fight because I've only seen him at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I was not impressed.
And
he's done way better matches in NXT.
And that's what I wanted to get into. So
it was too much of a 50-50 fight.
I thought this was a good match, but Dolph controlled a majority of it.
Yes.
And if anything, this made me think that
it's like Jess's woman controls him.
Dolph was it looks like if anything, Dolph got more build off of this match than Shinsuke. And I think what also didn't help this, it was fairly predictable. I don't think anybody on the planet thought that Dolph was going to have a chance to win.
Maybe if you listened to your own podcast, you would have known. I predicted Ziggler was going to win this match, and much to my surprise, Shinsuke Nakamura, still suffering radiation fallout from when we bombed his ass, won this match.
Oh my God. Well,
now, that being said, my
Shinsuke's from
predictions
Kansas.
Are most definitely 100% accurate when it comes to him and Ziggler starting a program that will last from now till they find something else to stick Ziggler into.
Well, I think the build-up was a detriment because we've been sitting here waiting for Shinsuke to fight for over a month, and then we get a pretty average match. So
it was a step above Emelina's entrance.
Yeah. I really hope because we finally broke the ice with Shinsuke, we're definitely going to see a lot more of him. They're not going to fucking tease us anymore. He's going to fight every week on SmackDown. It's finally over and we can keep going. So hopefully this is just a stepping stone for a lot better things. But you know, at the end of the day, I came away with this thinking my opinion grew on Dolph, and it kind of went down on Shinsuke.
There's never been a doubt in my mind that Ziggler is an A-class performer. When you go into the rating system, there's an S next to his name, 5 gold stars.
He breaks everything.
Because he's superior to you, asshole.
Oh my God.
Oh man. So then we pick up into one of my most anticipated matches, the Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus Breezango.
I was glad the Usos won.
Well, wow. Can we talk about what happened with the match
got that
first?
wrong on predictions.
So first we start with a replay of the last Fashion Files to set up Tyler's disguises. Breezango
Let me
comes
just set up how lazy this was, though. This was an exact scene for scene redo of something we saw on SmackDown.
Well, that's because
they added nothing new. There wasn't new commentary. There wasn't even new dialogue.
Well, that's because it was literally a replay.
Yeah,
it was.
Anyway, Breezango.
You think they could afford a replay, John? You think they saved that tape? They looked at that and they said, "Fuck it, let's just reenact it."
Yeah,
Breezango.
Like, oh, we got the ratings so much more than Raw. We can afford this little half-ass pay-per-view.
Breezango comes out for the fight, and Breeze is dressed as the janitor. The Usos come out and are all hyped. We finally get the start of the match, and Fandango and Jimmy Uso stand off until the janitor gets tagged in. He starts mopping the ring and pulls some spots with the mop, including tripping Jimmy. Finally, Jey Uso gets tagged and breaks the mop in half, which gets a ton of heat.
Where's the disqualification on a foreign object?
I think, and
Tyler Breeze wasn't in the match. That was a janitor.
I think that's
okay. Where's the interference then?
I think that's
a janitor randomly joining the match.
I
Beyond
think,
me, he wasn't even a legal man.
I think what they were going for was the janitor just happened to be there and was doing his job.
Yeah.
This
is a great example of the piss poor refereeing that we saw throughout the night. It's the only reason why that asshole up there gets to wear those glasses and a suit.
Tyler Breeze is a master of disguise.
Because I made investments that paid dividends is no reason to be hating on the soon-to-be undisputed champion of the world.
I gotta say, I even booed out loud when Jay broke the mop. It was what did that mop ever do to him? So Tyler gets knocked to the outside, and then he comes out with a new disguise. Well, I thought it was Breeze at first, but it was obviously a little old lady that got caught up in. I'd have to assume she has dementia because she didn't know where she was. But Breeze's pants were obviously sticking out from the dress, and he even lands a Bronco Buster. But he knocks Uso knocks the wig off, and JBL gets a souvenir when they tear the dress off him and throw it, and it hits JBL right in the face. And we get one of the only compliments I will ever give JBL. He had me laughing with a good one where he said, usually I have to pay for something like this.
Yes.
But yeah, both teams get hot tags, and Fandango lands some great shots, including an around-the-world DDT. Once again, the DDT, it's one of the standout. It's a classic for a reason.
Only because you broke-ass motherfuckers don't know what it's like to cut an actual diamond.
When did we become an Unleashed show?
Usos pull off some nice tag maneuvers with the backbreaker into an elbow off the top rope. But then one of the brothers accidentally super kicks the other while hanging upside down. The Usos catch Breeze and slam him into the barricade, but that allows Fandango to land a suicide dive. Jimmy's able to grab Fandango while he's up on the top turnbuckle, and Jay hits a super kick, which gets the win. I thought it was a great match, one of the best matches of the night. I like the ending sequence, but the Fandango mark in me was definitely disappointed that they didn't get the belts. If they're not going to win now, when are they ever going to get a chance to win? So
they're never going to win. All three of us went with them for this match, and all three of us walked home crying.
So
they got nothing.
So what did you guys think overall?
I thought overall it was just a poor match, and I was saying the Usos had to have won, because how do you have like a janitor, an old lady, like come out and then beat your champions? It just doesn't make sense.
They have the comedy shtick over. It's gotten them over, and it's gotten them over with me. And you know what? Watching
But it's like the New Day. The New Day has a comedy shtick. Stay in the ring. You never see Xavier Woods jump in the ring and start blowing the trombone.
Just a heads up.
You see him blowing it outside while Kofi's beating his ass.
Just a heads up, Dapper.
Francesca?
your connection seems to be dipping in and out, so I might have to like tell you to repeat some stuff. But you're okay right now. What were you saying, Jess?
Your connection's as broken as your shirt. I was gonna say, Francesca #1 met her and how? By being
outside the ring.
Being interference.
Chris Jericho was
interference is interference.
Outside the ring. Oh my God. I am coming over to your house one day and just going to beat your ass.
All right, settle down, you
find
two.
over here, Son of Mitch 3 and Son of Mitch 4.
Settle down now.
They are not forgotten.
So Jess, what'd you think?
Disappointment all around.
Really? I'm the only one that liked the match.
I thought the comedy angle was golden. It was something different we hadn't seen in a long time. When was the last time you saw a comedic match
on a pay-per-view
appear on a pay-per-view?
Apparently, according to Jess, when Francesca won, got snapped in half.
She got destroyed on a Raw.
Was it?
For a historian, you sure don't know nothing about history.
For an historian, I know I'm about to take this size 13 shoe upside your face.
All right. Let's calm down. Let's go ahead and get into our next match: Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. Going into this match, I think, like a lot of people, was going to assume that Corbin was going to take his size 20 shoe and just kick it,
turn it sideways,
all over Sami, the poor underdog, the poor losing wrestler, as many people call him.
Just call him what he is, the filthy Muslim who keeps appearing on this show because they got no other talent.
Well,
we're not talking about Jinder.
Yeah, let's actually talk about what happens in the match, though.
My people are equally offended about that, but I'll save it for the end of the night.
So Corbin stomps on Sami a bunch, and Sami's able to land a couple dives. Corbin eventually starts dominating and lands that chokeslam backbreaker that I honestly don't understand how that's not a finisher.
How is this not a Dapper match? I mean, he was stomping a mud hole, walking it dry, and Sami Zayn, using his Muslim magic, somehow wins.
Well, if that Muslim magic is a sunset flip powerbomb, then by all means,
that's in bad taste, CJ. I don't know if you're watching the news, but saying bomb and Muslim right now is a very sensitive subject.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of the victims in England, and we wish everybody a speedy recovery. And that's obviously not what I was going with, Jess.
Yeah,
that might be where you're going with it, but I predicted this 2 weeks ago. I said Sami Zayn's in England, his finisher's the bomb.
Oh,
and I left it at that. Illuminati confirmed.
Oh my God.
Sami is able to get out of the way. Corbin crashes to the outside. By the time Corbin gets back into the ring, Sami's able to recover and lands a big boot and then the haluva kick and gets the surprising win. I thought this was a pretty good match. I thought the tag match was a little bit better, but yeah, I think all of us picked Corbin, right?
No, except that piece of dirt up there.
Wait,
a piece of dirt wearing a $5,000 suit you could never afford.
Jess,
is that why the tag's hanging out?
You loathe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you loathe and or despise Sami Zayn.
That's why he's a sellout.
So
when I got access to the New Day's time machine and I had one bullet I could put in a gun and I could travel back in time and shoot somebody, I didn't go for Hitler. I went for Sami Zayn. That's how much I hate the guy.
But you picked him to win the match. So, I mean,
Because I could see through poor writing.
So are we going to have like a spin-off show where you show us how to take our emotions out of decision-making?
I mean, if you want to make money and be successful like me, I can.
So then we get a match. It was a match that happened. I still am flabbergasted on how they decided that this was a good idea to begin with. But if you aren't paying attention right and following along, I'm talking about the Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch match versus the Welcoming Committee. of Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina Snuka, and Mother of God, was this terrible.
Mother of God, was this terrible. I picked up another win right here. Both you all voted against me.
No, I didn't. I voted for the welcoming committee.
Oh, so sorry. I forgot you were here.
I actually picked the faces, and I gotta say, I think I let my emotions get the better of me, because I was hoping to God that the faces would go over so that we could finally break up the welcoming committee and get some singles matches like Becky versus Charlotte or Charlotte versus Naomi or anything like that. Would have been better than this hot mess of a match. And I'm going to go through it just to see if you guys can remember any of this.
Can I just say one thing before you do?
Absolutely.
I am glad the welcoming committee won for two reasons. One, it's an actual faction, not just random three people they shoved together to make a match. And two, I want to see this group be the measuring pole for all the women wrestlers that come into the WWE, because I see great things when Asuka comes up to deal with the welcoming committee.
Do you think seriously she's going to come to SmackDown?
Well,
second-rate production?
I would say, do you think she's going to come to SmackDown, and do you think the welcoming committee is going to survive for that long?
Good job saying what I just said.
I think they will. I think she will come to SmackDown, because after this piss-poor performance of a pay-per-view, yeah, say that 10 times fast. But Asuka is going to be the only saving grace that they have.
I don't need to say it. I pay people to say what I need to say.
Oh my God.
So you know what? Just going through my notes, I don't even want to recap this. So I'm just gonna go through the end. Naomi tags in Becky Lynch, and she takes out all three members of the committee. Tamina saves Natalya, and after trying a second time, Natalya is able to lock in the sharpshooter for the clean win. I guess they're going to continue this feud to try to build up the committee. Obviously all three of those people need as much help getting over as possible. So that's my assumption, is why they're booking the way they are booking. But the sooner this can fucking end, the better. Do you guys have any
I like it because with the faces, you got three alphas, and for the welcoming committee, you got one alpha and then the others. And it's nice to see like an actual faction, since we'll never get the four horsewomen again, because Sasha Banks is a piece of crap as a wrestler. Well, she dies every time she gets a title shot.
Well, with that said, with the whole three alphas versus the collective, do you think the way they're booking this makes sense on that kind of level, where, because they have been doing the whole welcoming committee have the teamwork, and the faces, the people that we know are obviously the better wrestlers, they're kind of getting in each other's way, they're bickering, about the title, all this and that, and that's been causing them to lose. I don't think that was really a big factor in the pay-per-view match, but it has played a bigger role.
I think
in
so,
the other
because
matches.
they all had to get in their spot. Like most 6-man tags, they do normal matching for about 10 minutes, and the last 5 is nothing but a spot fest, where one comes in, throws one out, another one comes in to throw that one out, and they just do finishers. But it was the teamwork that the welcoming committee had to partner it up so that Natalya came out to finish it, who was the legal woman, to go up against, who was it, Becky, who was the other legal woman, so that she can take it in while everyone else took out the other team as a group. And I was very surprised to see Helmsworth not interfere.
So, Jess,
if you're actually interested in seeing 6 women fight over a belt, come over to my house on Thursday. This was a bullshit match. I don't have anything I need to say about it.
Moving on, we get the United States Championship match. The new face of America, Kevin Owens, versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. The man
hated the finish.
Well, let's hold our horses and let's actually go through the match. So AJ comes out first, and the crowd goes absolutely ballistic. And then KO comes out, and my God, do people hate him and his new gimmick. It's definitely over as far as heat is concerned. Jess, are you doing okay? You look like you're dead. Do we have a Weekend of Bernie situation? Somebody's controlling you by string?
I'm simply at peace with the world. This match went exactly as predicted, as did the rest of the night. Finish it up.
So they're trying to fill each other out. AJ gets an early roll up, but KO kicks out at 1. I liked how each guy was countering each other back and forth. KO would land a shot, and then AJ would, it was just a bunch of back and forth, maintaining each of their levels as far as being a legit top guy in the company. KO, though, he starts to slow things down with some rest holds. He was definitely holding the headlock. I'm assuming he was trying to wear out AJ, slow him down a little bit. And after a DDT,
targeting the legs, typical moves.
Yeah, and then KO hits a DDT and then 3 sentons and almost gets the win. I was pretty surprised how he kept going for the sentons, but a guy that size, I mean, why would you not do that? So AJ starts getting some momentum after landing a combo of strikes and then a face buster. And then he almost wins after he lands a nasty slam on the back of KO's head. I'm not sure really what the maneuver was called specifically. But then KO comes out of nowhere with a super kick and drops AJ neck first on his knee. So yeah, we had definitely some nasty drops. I don't think they were necessarily botches, but they definitely looked pretty painful. I think it was like an inverted neck breaker.
Yeah, he landed
like face first, kind of. But then KO starts targeting the knee, and this is a callback to SmackDown, because if you guys remember, that match ended with KO coming off the
title belt,
the commentary booth, and using the belt to smack AJ's knee, the back of his leg. So he starts targeting the same leg, and
this was an investment that paid off. I called it back then, and we saw the fruition of it tonight.
Yeah, and after landing a cannonball onto the knee, he locks in a single crab, and then he goes into what I thought was definitely a Kurt Angle in his prime ankle lock. Like he was lifting AJ all the way up and definitely putting a lot of torque into that ankle, definitely stressing all those ligaments. Dr. Dapper, how effective is that ankle lock as far as like wearing your legs out?
I mean, pretty much the way that ankle lock works is he's just rotating and torquing an external rotation of that ankle, which is an easy way to tear those ligaments on the inside, stress that Achilles tendon, and just anything that allows you to have somewhat balance when you stand on it.
So
if done accurately.
Well, with the Achilles and the ankle, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't those be semi-easy to tear compared to the rest of your body?
The ligaments in your ankle will be easier to tear than the Achilles tendon just because it's so thick. I mean, like the Achilles tendon is probably about like an inch thick in width. And it's designed to hold your whole body up.
Okay. So targeting the ankle is pretty smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because it will make it difficult for him to bear down on it with weight, to where, I mean, he's pretty much just giving him an ankle sprain. Mm-hmm. And if he wanted to torque it like the great Kurt Angle, then he could tear it.
Did Kurt ever actually like legit injure anybody with that ankle lock?
I think so.
Yeah. Because I know when he was
heel, sideswiped with his car while he was driving drunk. Ain't nothing great about Kurt Angle. Let's move on to so we can talk about a real champion.
All right. Settle down there. We're talking about the best match that happened. Frankly,
it was the best match.
So let's finish up.
the finish.
Okay, we're getting there. We're almost there. So KO tries to go for a superplex off the top rope, but Styles counters into a power bomb. AJ then goes for the phenomenal forearm, but he can't put any weight on the leg, and he does a great job selling that. Like, he just like he's able to get up on the top rope to go for the springboard, but then he just completely botch. It looks like a botch essentially, but if you watch the replay, he literally he can't springboard, he can't launch himself because of the damage that has already gone to his leg. So KO makes him pay with a double underhook DDT and almost gets the win off of that. Once again, the DDT looks like the best move throughout the whole match. And then what I liked was KO starts just slapping AJ around.
Yeah.
Styles goes for his own superplex, but KO counters into his own. AJ somehow keeps the match going. KO goes for another high-risk maneuver, but Styles rolls out of the way. KO is able to land the snap suplex in the corner of the apron, which KO doesn't seem to like. Even though he's done it to several people, including Jericho, with that power bomb. I guess he doesn't like a taste of his own medicine. But then AJ gets thrown over the barricade, and I guess it's because there was some extra width with the barricade. He's actually able to use that and land the phenomenal forearm. He then goes for the Styles Clash, but KO's able to break free, and Styles awkwardly goes down on top of the table and gets his bad leg and knee stuck in a hole where one of the monitors is supposed to go. So
this is where my problem is. What I don't like is how they are outside of the ring for easily 2 minutes, and the ref's sitting there with his thumb up his ass, not counting one bit. And the moment AJ gets his leg caught in the hole and awkwardly placed between wires, that's the fastest 10 count I've ever seen.
I did notice the same thing, and I think it was actually a different match that I made note of the same exact thing, where it seemed like they were outside for a while and the ref just didn't count. He didn't start the count for whatever reason.
This was the worst reffing in a pay-per-view I've ever seen. Just shy of that one match with Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox on Raw, where Alicia had her entire backup and the ref still counted 3. Like,
well, if the
when are you two gonna learn this is all about the money? You pay that ref a little up front, he pays you a little on the back half.
That's the only reason why you won this pay-per-view prediction.
Well, okay, so with that said, though, Dapper, are you more mad because of the ref stuff, or are you mad because the end finish was a count out and it wasn't clean?
No, I would have been okay with the not clean 50-50 booking finish if you showed Kevin Owens not just slide his foot into the hole, but dig in there and or pull out some wires and wrap his foot up. If you would have done that to show Kevin Owens doing a heel move in a cheat way and then let the ref still count, I would have been perfectly fine with it. But the fact that it just happened out of a coincidence, and then Kevin Owens comes in the ring, he's like, well, I'm here, where are you at? And the guy's like, 8, 9, 10. Fastest 3 count I've ever seen.
Well, they kind of make up for that, because you do get your heel shenanigans, because while AJ is still trying to free his foot, because not only does it get stuck in the hole, but it does get caught up in some wiring, KO hits him in the back of the head with the super kick. And I thought
that was after the match, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got your dastardly heel stuff. Yeah, it just wasn't during the match. But I definitely understand what you're saying, and what you're saying does. I think it would have made the match better, but I still think it was it was a 4-star match and the best match of the night.
Because besides that, you just had a great Kevin Owens match and a great AJ Styles match, to where it's like, who do I really hate? Because they're both doing really good. But it's just like back in the day, what made you hate the heel more? when a guy ran into the ropes and accidentally tied his arms up into it, or when the guy beat him down into the ropes and then tied his arms up into it.
Mm-hmm. No, you make a great point.
It made you hate the heel more. Now I just like Kevin Owens because he's a good wrestler and he can hold his own against AJ Styles. I'm sorry he got taken out by some extension cords.
And you kind of look like him. We might have to get you face to face with him to really see who is the real face of America.
I've been face to face with him.
I would like to see that. Jess, you've been kind of quiet over there. What'd you think of this match?
I was just shocked Dap had a point other than the one on top of his head. It was a solid match. It was a solid finish. I thought it told a great story. Glad to see we're moving on to the next one.
All right, so in one of the surprises of the night, in what I thought was going to be a pre-show match, we get the... I don't even know what to say. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan going on right before the main event.
Where did that come from?
Sometimes you need a cool down before you go full force.
Well, I knew that this match was happening, but you know, after it still hadn't happened between like, how the hell does this match get put on after AJ and KO?
I'm sorry, did you not watch the pre-show? They set up for this match perfectly.
I mean,
I all the different sheep masks. He talked to them. He caressed them. He stole some of
that doesn't answer
Rosenberg's ascots and tied them around his mask, and then said no, they're inadequate.
Well, that doesn't answer my question though as to why this match went on right before the main event.
I just answered it.
Because they had
nothing else. You need to cool down before the hot slap.
Yeah.
Well,
they had a whole bunch of other shitty matches.
So Rowan
the best of the worst.
Rowan controls the beginning of the match and is able to toss Harper around like he's some kind of cruiserweight. Rowan eventually goes for a splash off the top rope, but Harper is able to roll out of the way. I guess Rowan didn't want to be KO or Corbin because I don't know why he's going off the top rope like that. Luke then hits a suicide dive, and Rowan gets pinned in between two of the announcer tables. And I like that spot.
I feel you're missing the most important spot of this match, where he starts talking to his sheep mask, gets psyched up, goes at it, and immediately gets knocked out.
Yes.
Well, I thought. Well, wasn't that the end of the match?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. It's chronological order.
I'm with you.
So
it's that douchebag over there.
So
forgive me if this was a completely forgettable match. I predicted 100% accurately.
So Rowan hits the surprising spinning heel kick into a power bomb, but only gets the 2 count. Harper lands some Ric Flair slaps. Rowan goes for a power bomb, but Harper is able to counter. Rowan goes over and yells at his mask and then turns around and gets hit with 2 super kicks and a hard clothesline and gets the pin. It's another weird finish, but I liked the match overall.
You would.
I just don't understand why.
Let me ask you this.
What is Luke's finisher?
Any match with a Jinder you don't like?
No.
What's Luke's finisher? He pulls out that little handgun and goes boom, boom.
I'm pretty sure it's a crossbow that he does, but I digress.
It is.
Obviously not, because he's not pulling the bolt back. He's not setting this up.
True. You, sir, got me there.
Don't listen to him.
But yeah, it was kind of an anticlimactic finish.
Dapper?
Like 2 super kicks into a hard clothesline. Like, really? That's enough to put down a guy like Rowan?
Yeah.
I guess.
Apparently.
Keep his hand strong, John. You remember that.
All right, children.
This wasn't much of a match, CJ. I don't know what to tell you. 2 of us predicted it right. Some guy wearing a broken t-shirt, probably sipping a PBR right now, predicted it wrong.
So then we get our main event. Randy
Can I just
Orton.
say one thing about that match?
Yes.
The reason why I picked Rowan is, one, he has a freaking gimmick. Who is Luke Harper? Besides it, he's the Helen Keller of wrestling.
He is an electrician speaking to the light bulbs.
There is no light bulb. He's not part of the Wyatt family anymore.
Doesn't matter.
He's a family of one.
He's cosplaying as Dean Ambrose. That's his. That's his gimmick.
and then what is he? Is he the dude from Home Improvement with his entrance? Just a bunch of 2x4 fences? Like
he hand built those fences,
and it shows because it shakes. It doesn't even stay straight.
I don't know what you're not getting about this. That's the wall.
He's
no building the wall, John.
He has no gimmick, no promo. All he does is sit there and look like.
No gimmick, no promo. For the last 4 podcasts, I've brought up his gimmick, his promo, and him talking to the light bulbs and how it was a complete failure.
Oh my God, he talked to the light bulbs 3 months ago when he was part of the Wyatt family.
He did that like once.
He broke up the Wyatt family and he talked to the light bulbs.
He didn't break up the Wyatt family. He got hurt.
That's a great segue because the man that did break up the Wyatt family, Randy Orton, the champ,
should have won that match.
Versus,
you know what makes it a really great transition? CJ calling it out.
Versus Jinder Mahal, Hard Body Mahal, the quote unquote Maharaja
himself.
And the build.
No quotes needed.
The build to this match has been up and down from my perspective, but yeah, we finally get to see what happens with these two feuding. Orton starts the match off, though, like a heel, and he tosses the belt to the ref and jumps Jinder from behind.
No, that is not true. What happened is the ring announcer is standing there pulling off the announcements, and the moment they say Randy Orton, the bell is rung.
No, the bell never rung.
The bell was rung. Watch it again, because I had that piece of shit up there. Watch it twice.
Please. We rewound this and watched it twice. I even called Vince myself to verify what I just saw. As soon as they both stepped in the ring, the bell rang, meaning the match was legal.
Rang.
Interesting.
However,
took off,
the timekeeper did not start the start.
JBL's like, oh, we never even heard a bell. It rang 3 times the moment Randy Orton took his jacket off. So Randy Orton was not a heel. He remained the babyface and probably looked at the ref like, you guys have screwed up the pre-show match. You screwed up the other 7 matches. You had one thing to do, and you screwed it up again.
Well, I'm gonna. I'll rewatch the replay, but I distinctly do not remember hearing anything. Maybe it was
JBL did his job to point out the fact the bell never rang. He jumped the gun to make people like you, CJ, forget the facts.
Well, I gotta say, no matter what, say what you will about Randy Orton, but he is better as a heel. So, yeah. And whether the bell rang,
he beat that Jinder Mahal's ass.
Whether the bell rang or not, that's still a pretty heelish tactic, throwing the belt and attacking the guy from behind.
There's the guy who's been attacking him from behind for the last 3 weeks.
He tosses Mahal onto a table, and I don't know if you guys caught this, but before he does anything else to Jinder, he grabs JBL's hat and just softly hands it over to him like it's a baby.
JBL's like, thanks, Randy.
Yeah.
Because he knows what would happen backstage if he didn't.
So finally
JBL kills people.
Finally, the ref gets in between the two superstars and checks to see if Jinder wants to even fight anymore.
Can I just say one thing? Can I say one thing? Where was the count?
Been saying a lot of things lately.
Shut up, you piece of shit. Where was the count? Where was the 10 count?
I don't know,
I'm sorry, the perfect 10 was backstage, so what would they be counting?
You're asking the right questions, but to the wrong people.
It was, I mean, did we just not care? Did this pay-per-view just come out of nowhere? Did we, were we sitting there on Friday, be like, all right, guys, we had a great Raw and SmackDown. Saturday, all right, guys, let's plan for next week's Raw and SmackDown.
So, Dapper, are you saying...
You're forgetting all the stuff they had to do Saturday. We had a UK championship.
Oh my God, that was
we had an NXT takeover.
Well, okay, let's not get sidetracked. But I think what Dapper's trying to say is WWE is not Vietnam. There are rules.
Yeah.
And technically, when you're outside the ring, you're supposed to start counting as a ref.
Yeah, we did it perfectly fine with AJ hanging by a foot. we were okay counting in. God forbid the Muslim goes over a table. Ooh, we don't want to count for him.
So
your cultural insensitivity just shows what an ignorant redneck you truly are.
So all right. So this is where I debate you guys on the bell ring, because this is what I put in my notes. So
the words must not ring true because I can't hear you over the Jinder.
So finally, the ref gets in between the two superstars and checks to see if Jinder even wants to fight anymore. Once Jinder stands up, the bell rings and the Viper continues the beatdown. Why would they ever ring the bell twice?
Because they messed up. Just like JoJo's disqualification-ism. They mess up.
So Jinder's able to throw Orton into the LED shoulder first, and then starts targeting the shoulder. So kind of like what KO was doing. I guess he took some notes and he starts going after the shoulder. We start getting some "Let's Go Jinder" chants, which was very surprising to me.
Until by Jess and the Singh brothers.
Until Orton is able to slam Hard Body Mahal to the mat.
I can't help us if us 205 fans have a favorite.
Jinder gets some more offense in, but has to go to the outside as Orton's able to slam Jinder into the table. It does hold, though, surprisingly. I guess it's because it wasn't the Spanish announcer table. And Jinder doesn't look too phased as he's able to land a bunch of knees onto the champ. Jinder continues to work the shoulder some more, and Orton's just can't grab the rope to break the hold. He then gets slammed into the corner post, and Jinder's able to get
Jinder slams him into the post.
No. Orton's able to slam Jinder into the post, and that gives Orton some breathing room. He then lands the suplex, and he gets his more signature moves in, like the power slam and the middle rope DDT.
On who? Who was the middle rope DDT on?
It was on Jinder. He does
I almost feel as though we've created a drinking game for DDT.
Yeah, the DDT got a spotlight on this pay-per-view.
In 8 matches.
So Orton continues.
7.
Orton continues to sell the shoulder, but looks like he is setting up for the RKO. Mahal's able to roll out of the way, though, into the outside. Then the Singh brothers get in between, but they don't touch Randy. So Mahal doesn't get DQ'd.
And he doesn't get counted out. No one gets counted out. Rules don't apply in this match.
After a few moments,
Rules don't apply to those who have money. Or do you not know about Hillary Clinton?
After a few moments, Randy gets... after a few moments of waiting, Randy then attacks the Singh brothers to get to Mahal. While Orton was dealing with the brothers, Mahal is able to recover and throws Orton again... shoulder first into the ring post. As Orton gets tossed back into the ring, he gets up and hits the RKO. But the Singh brothers pull Mahal to the outside before Orton can get the pin. Orton continues to favor the shoulder. He goes back to the Singh brothers and literally throws them like ragdolls through the table.
The best facial reaction we have ever seen on
the second one had to be a botch because Orton literally turns to the camera and goes.
You know what, though? I hope that he broke that little Singh brother's neck so they stop interfering and Jinder Mahal has to actually fight like a real man.
I think it's cute you think there's just 2 of them, John. 1,000 of those guys back in the factory.
He's not Muslim. He's an Indian Canadian.
Like I said earlier, I don't think this ever counted as
a religion. Look it up.
I don't think this ever counted as interference because technically, the Singh brothers never did anything to Randy,
except just take the guy out of the match when he just got a finisher put to him where he's going to lose.
Technically, now I don't have the rule book in front of me, but technically
because it doesn't apply to this match.
They didn't do anything directly to Randy. So
I have the rule book right here, and I will read to you exactly what it states. If a superstar is attacked from an outside, contender, the match is to end in a DQ. However, if the member of the match attacks an outside member, it is not a DQ.
Okay, but what if you had the Singh brothers grab, lay hands on, i.e. attack Jinder Mahal and pull him out of the ring? Because Jinder was lifeless with the RKO.
It's up to ref discretion.
Well, we already know the refs don't even follow.
It says it right here in subsection. Learn the read. Maybe you'd understand the game.
So Dapper, I think you'll agree with this note that I put. So after Orton throws the Singh brothers on top of the tables, the ref for some reason doesn't do a count out while Randy and Mahal are on the outside. Randy hands JBL his hat and then continues to murder the brothers by landing a middle rope DDT on both of them simultaneously. While Orton was doing all that, Mahal is able to sneak up behind Orton and just like before, hits him with the Coloss, a.k.a. the Cobra Clutch Slam, and we get a new champion, a.k.a. the Maharaja himself, Jinder Mahal.
So
it's going to be a hell of a coronation on Tuesday night. I can't wait to be there in person.
I thought this was a B match with an A finish, so I would say a B plus overall. And with that,
I thought it was a crap match because the Singh brothers fought longer than Jinder did.
I don't think that's true, but okay.
It's very true.
It's damn true.
It's damn true.
So what'd you guys think of the match?
Oh shit! And I thought that piece of shit up there had to pay somebody to make this happen because it just pissed me
Jess,
off.
I've been kind of apprehensive about what's been going on with you. You've been kind of out of it throughout the rest of the card. What do you have to? I'm assuming you've been saving it up for this. So what do you got to say about this match and overall Jinder Mahal going over?
Well, this match has proved to me once and for all, taking advice from anyone other than myself is a mistake. I predicted 4 weeks straight that Jinder was taking this belt home. And much like him, I have taken this belt home. Could have been because
they're going to India.
I am the new champion of predictions. You two can each take turns sucking it. And Jinder is going to start a 2-month reign undefeated.
No, he's not. His championship reign is going to last as long as it takes for them to get to India so he can defend it there.
You ever been to India, John? It's a long, hard country. Much like something else.
I do want to just throw it out there for the audience that may not have listened to our prediction show. I, too, did predict Jinder going over and winning, but it's not because...
The only one who didn't predict Jinder was this douche.
The only reason why I actually did pick Jinder, though, is because I absolutely can't stand Randy Orton being champ. He's the most vanilla motherfucker around. So I, for one...
Except when he drops Singh brothers on their necks.
Oh, well, that was great.
How you go with vanilla. He just burnt a man's house down. He murder-balled 2 members of 205. And
he's supposed to be a babyface. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, all I'm saying is...
We talked about how alignment is shifting.
All I gotta say is I'm glad that Jinder's the champ. It's going to be something different. Say what you will about his in-ring stuff and his promo stuff. Both of those things could use some work, but
he slept outside of the ring longer than Roman Reigns did in the last Royal Rumble.
It's gonna be interesting to see what the SmackDown writers do with
Are you referring to when he came out as number 30 and was eliminated in 2 minutes? Or are you thinking 2 Royal Rumbles back when he got thrown over the ropes, recovered, went under the ropes, and then sat out for 25 minutes?
I did want to...
Seems like we need a new historian, CJ.
If,
also somebody with a little more gold to their name.
In case we got some new listeners that are just tuning in for the first time, we did have a couple secondary predictions besides the main card, and one of the main ones was whether we were going to get a Rusev appearance or not. And I said no Rusev sightings. I think I was the only one to predict that.
All this proves is Broken clocks right twice a day.
And I got to assume that Rusev is going back to Bulgaria because he said like a month ago that if he didn't get a championship match, he was going to leave. And if I was Rusev, I would be steaming mad that a motherfucker like Jinder gets to be the champ and he's just sitting there at home, doing nothing. I mean, I think it is not a stretch to say that Rusev is like the way, way, way better version of Jinder.
Yes, and when they go to Bulgaria to defend the title, I promise you he'll win it too.
Like a Stretch Armstrong that just got tied to the back of a car and tied to a tree.
Hasn't he only been like U.S. champion?
He is a far better champion.
But there were no DQs, and we can argue back and forth about the interference. I don't think it technically falls under interference.
I hope so. Well, I mean, probably not because there's no rules. Sunday had no rules.
But I
just called it the no rules pay-per-view.
I gotta say this was an okay pay-per-view. I wish the Shinsuke and the tag title matches were longer. Some of the finishes left a bad taste in my mouth, like the AJ finish. But I didn't.
Not all of them
it wasn't
taste in your mouth.
It wasn't the fact that AJ lost that I did not like. It was and it wasn't the whole he got his legs stuck and they didn't count out. It was the fact that it was a count out. That's what I didn't like.
The only match that didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth was the women's match. And you'll probably never hear me say that again on a pay-per-view.
I can't believe you're saying that because I absolutely hated that match.
It was the only match that made sense.
Made sense.
But yeah, I would give this like a C.
You're being too generous.
I'd give it a C. It was all right, but yeah. What are your guys' closing thoughts on Backlash?
I give it a D.
Yeah,
a solid D is all it is.
Yeah,
didn't know you could manage one of those.
The most solid of D's.
I'm giving this show a C+.
You know what, CJ? I'm going to interrupt you. I am tired.
Whoa!
Of this piece of shit.
What?
Yeah, this is how he took my title from me. Just like his boy Jinder, nothing but cheap shots. Nothing but cheap shots.
Are we going to be able to continue having a show? What the hell's going on between you two?
Yeah. What's
Ain't
about
nothing
to happen,
cheap about the way I fight.
What's about to happen is in 12 days, I'm coming for you, you piece of shit. In 12 days, I'm going to come over to your house, beat that ass, and take my belt back.
We do have Extreme Rules coming up.
In 12 days.
And with that, we will see. We will see, Jess. Jess, do you have any closing thoughts on Backlash? You said you gave it the highest grade of a C+. Was it just because Jinder went over? Because, I mean, you are a self-professed Jinder mark. You are a Jinder fan.
I gave it a C because I thought it was cute that you two tried to out-predict me on a SmackDown pay-per-view.
You know what pisses me off?
Let's not talk about the predictions. Let's just talk about the show.
You know what aggravates me more about this guy? Is after he took that cheap shot, he had the gall, the audacity to take a selfie with my belt and post it on our Facebook page.
And check that out at facebook.com/KayfabeIsNotDead.
You must truly be concussed if you think it's your belt, or if you're ever going to get it back again.
I'm coming over there and I'm going to get it in 12 days.
When we eventually have our Dapper versus Jess match to the death, I will make sure to Facebook Live it out to everybody and live stream it. Maybe we'll get Twitch up and running and make sure that everybody can watch. But with that said, I think this was a pretty up and down Backlash, and just hopefully Money in the Bank will be a little bit better. But any last words before we sign off, guys? Without killing each other.
He's a piece of shit. That's my last words.
All right. With that said, that was episode 7 of our Backlash review, and yeah, we'll have our Raw and SmackDown reviews coming up later this week. Have a good night.
I'm getting my belt back.
All right, Dapper.